I'm Cody Crabb.
I'm Johnny Flores.
And we're the hosts of the Podcast Producers Survival Handbook.
Podcast Producers Survival Handbook is here to help podcast producers, editors, and audio engineers succeed while freelancing.
How's it going, Johnny?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Well, as I mentioned before we started, I am literally, we recorded these not around the same time,
Nope.
and I'm sick still. I still have this cough. It's my kids again. I'll probably be saying this on every episode, to be honest.
Until they
leave.
leave.
Happens.
Until they're adults.
If we keep this going for 18 years, then I will still be saying that up until then.
I think we first started talking about this. The genesis of the idea was at Podcast Movement Evolutions in Las Vegas, and I think you were dealing with it then.
I just barely started getting it when I was there. So yeah, it's been since then.
And that was what, early March?
Yeah, it's
23?
a nightmare. It's a nightmare.
It was early March 23, and we're recording this April of 2027. So yeah.
Likely. Yeah. But so it's because we're a podcast for beginners, but also kind of not beginners. We kind of thought, okay, first few episodes should be the absolute most essential stuff. So our last episode was finding clients. How do I find clients? Second episode, we decided, okay, what else can we do here? And I think one of the things we landed on was how do you know that you have enough clients? Just dealing with clients, I think was the thing that we thought, that's one of the most important things. And so let's say you find your first client, you pitch them, things are going well. But now they're like, oh, so what all do you do? Like, you do podcast editing, but what else do you offer? I'd love to kind of discuss what services do you all offer, Johnny, and kind of what services do you suggest to other people to offer? And also what do you suggest they not offer that maybe is tempting for podcast people?
So I tend to play the role of producer editor. And I think that is more beneficial in the long run. It's you're sort of in past jobs that I've had when I was a supervisor, I always cross-trained my staff in all of their roles, and I learned their roles too, so that I was more versatile and could do more things there. Just basically ensured my job because I could do everything. So that's the approach I take. What I offer to clients is I can.
So you don't really do that much more. It sounds like you just mostly do the kind of consulting and audio. Is that kind of it?
I pitch it as a package deal. You get me as your producer. You get me as I'll help you develop your podcast. I'll edit it. I'll do the technical stuff and the creative stuff. So, and then from there, the client can choose what they want me to do and what they don't want me to do.
Yeah. Okay.
Based on
that. So what, when they decide, what's on the table? What if they asked you to do it, what's on the table of things that you would do?
It depends. I tell them everything but hosting. I won't host your podcast. So
yeah,
from there, we break down exactly what does that look like. Do you want me to lead production? Do you want me to pitch ideas? Do you want me to find guests? Do you want me to do the scheduling? Do you want me to record? Do you want me to edit? Do you want me to direct? Do you want me to act as your producer director during the recording sessions? So it really depends on what their needs are. And then they can kind of break that down a la carte.
Gotcha. Yeah. See, and I was going to say, that's kind of how I do it as well. Although I kind of pitch myself more as do you have no clue what you're doing? Let me do all of it. I'll do all of it. And if there's a part of it that you want to do, then just do that. But let me do all of it is kind of how I've pitched myself in the past, just because I think with my clientele specifically, they are often people that are experts in something. They are life coaches or fitness experts or whatever. And they have no clue what they're doing. So they just need an assistant basically that is I know all the things. So they could say, hey, should I put my podcast on YouTube? And they just have a guy to ask. So that's kind of how that's kind of how
producer.
Basically. Yeah. But I've kind of pitched myself as a guy, I'm the guy. And so that's you're the podcasting handyman. Yeah, pretty much. That's basically it. Yeah.
I'll
So
dig the
I
post
kind of
holes of your podcast. I'll clean out the bottom of your oven of your podcast.
right. That's what you want. And so, well, and also he knows a guy. He knows a good guy for da 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 da. You know,
Yeah.
it's just so audiograms. I do a lot of audiograms. I do video, but kind of basic video. Like I don't do a lot of like really in depth kind of YouTuber type videos.
You're not
like
doing
it's
Mr. Beast level
yeah, like
production.
yeah, that's it's just like video. Usually it's like this kind of format that you're
Yeah.
looking at right now. But yeah, that's kind of the majority. I'll do show notes as well. I'll write their copy and things like that. AI assisted, we'll have a whole episode probably about that.
Yeah.
Because I've been really getting into that. That's kind of my main stuff, and I'll just kind of. But I just say like, let me handle it. And if there's a part of this that I kind of approach it from the opposite end, with like where I say, I'll do all of it. Tell me what you want to do, and you can do that.
So that is a really good selling point. And a lot of times you can actually turn that "what do you want to handle" into the client saying, "I just want you to handle it."
Yeah.
So I work with Cody works more with individuals. I tend to work more with like business organizations, professional organizations, stuff like that. A lot of the times there's small staff. I tend to work with clients. My sweet spot is they have maybe 5 to up to 30 employees. So depending on the size of their team, they may want me to handle all of it. They may want me just to handle part of it. So I often will take the approach of, if you want me to do this, it's going to cost this much. I'm also willing to help train your staff maybe over the course of 6 episodes. They can do X, Y, and Z. I'll handle A through W.
Yeah, that's really good too, because then they might be able to be like, oh, well, I can't really justify paying for you to do this, but I could maybe justify for like just a little bit just to try to
also
get it off the ground.
Once you get into it, the staff member may tell their boss,
right,
I don't want to handle this. Can he just please handle this? I'm so busy.
Yeah.
And then they're like, I'm already doing it. You're already paying for it. Let's just keep it going. Right. So it really depends on evaluating. This is where discovery, talking to a potential client, and then once they've signed a contract, that I do a pre-production package too of like show development, and that's where the discovery really happens, and we can revise a couple things, or change the contract to like, okay, now he's going to do this, or an addendum, something like that. It just conversation and discovery with your clients in the beginning is so important in determining what they want to manage. And doing the pitch of, well, if you do that, it's going to keep the costs down.
Yeah, that's smart.
I'll still make some pre-production money package from this, training your staff. And then I've also built up that trust. They know I do good work, and then they're willing to reevaluate that. Like, okay, yeah, just do it.
So let's make a quick list. So this is kind of adjacent services that you can use as an upsell besides just the actual production. So I would say kind of publishing and uploading to a host, writing their show notes and descriptions and stuff like that.
Transcripts.
Making art is another big one. Transcripts. Those are, you can really make some bank off those.
Connecting setting up their hosting service, and then connecting it to the different listening platforms.
Yeah, just kind of a launch in general. I would say like promotional materials, like graphics and little videos and audiograms and stuff like that. Finding guests is one that nobody knows how to do really.
Production
like when they start
management, just the production management, managing it for them.
Yep. I don't do this myself. I haven't yet anyway. But like scheduling interviews for someone. I mean, can you imagine how nice that would be to just wake up and they have a guest? Like that's so nice.
Pitching ideas, pitching
ideas. Yeah.
Pitching content ideas, pitching guests, stuff like that.
Yeah. All these are things that you can charge for and get paid for. And they need everybody that has a podcast needs to do all of that stuff. Most of that stuff. Okay,
also,
so
building out episode templates.
Sure, yeah. Actually, like helping structure the actual stuff.
The actual structure of the show, and then the actual editing, mixing template too. Finding music. A lot of times they don't know where to go to look for music, and finding stuff that can be used through Creative Commons, or finding musicians in their local community, stuff like that.
Some of these are like, you do it once, and and some of these are like you can do it every week or however often, but it's important to like, there is a ton of stuff that you can do around this kind of stuff. I mean, I've never done this myself, but like if you're local, like maybe they need some other stuff like videography and things like that. So there's so many things. But the really cool thing about being freelance is you don't have to do any of it. Like if you don't want to get paid for it, like, oh, I don't do that, is fine. Like you can say, I don't want to do that just because you don't like doing it. I hate transcripts. I really, really hate doing transcripts. They take forever. I already can do a passable transcript in Descript or wherever else, and it's just fine, for my purposes. And none of my clients really want like a full perfect transcript. So I'm like, no, I'll charge you like double what anything else, like any other transcript service would cost you. So I'll do it, but I won't be happy about it. And if I'm going to do it, at least I'm going to get paid to do it. So
yeah,
definitely
get paid to do it.
So, okay. As far as like, let's say you've got a couple clients now. How do you know when you start to like be a little bit, this is kind of more like a freelancing problem than an actual podcast production problem.
I see.
But like, how do you know when you start to take on too much? Like, what are the early signs that you can be aware of that are like, ooh, maybe I should slow this down, or maybe I should pare back what I'm actually doing?
I think an early sign is when you start doing extra work that isn't agreed. Like that's you and the client didn't agree to this, and you start taking that on, I think is a clear sign of overextending yourself. What about you? What do you think?
Well, I mean, I would actually say if you start making mistakes, like if you don't have enough time to like carefully go through each thing and be like, yes, this is what I'm doing. Obviously there's like horrible mistakes, like switching like uploading the wrong podcast to the wrong feed.
Yeah.
Like there's something like that. But even something as simple as just like, oh, I didn't know that mistake was in there when I sent it to the client, or like stuff like that. The reason that that's happening is because you feel rushed and you feel like you can't do it as well as you maybe should. So, and I would also add to that, like you are working more than you want to. So we'll talk about this more. We're going to do an episode on pricing probably pretty soon here. And I would say like, before you even do any of this, you should start thinking, what's my goal here? Do I want to get some money on the side because I know about audio and I just want to get some cash money? Do I want to make this my full-time career? There is a huge spectrum in between those two, but what you need to do is figure out how many hours a week do you want to work? How much money do you want to make?
Yeah.
And kind of arrange what you're pitching to clients and how much your work you're doing based on that. And your pricing will have a lot to do with that. So that's why we'll kind of talk about that later. But what you mentioned kind of is in the realm of scope creep. So maybe we should talk about that a little bit, and maybe also define what scope creep is for those that maybe haven't heard of it.
I'll add one more thing, a sign that you may be overextending yourself or you're taking too much work.
Oh yeah.
Is if you feel animosity towards your client.
I
had that in the beginning. I had a couple clients that I wouldn't say no to and kept asking me to do more and more and more and more. So I would do it because I liked doing the work. It's my first time in a job where I was like, oh, I get to be creative and I'm getting paid. Like, this is amazing. I don't mind doing this. But it slowly started to wear on me, and I would get
That's good.
I would get just real animosity. I would gripe to my girlfriend about like, God, they're doing this, they're making me, and she, bluntly, thankfully said this to me. She's like, they're not making you do anything. You're doing that to yourself. You need to draw a line, tell them yes or no, and stick to it. I was like, oh, you're so right, Sash.
Well, and especially when like you stop and think like they're paying me to do stuff. Like if you're like, I've caught myself doing that too when I got like super busy, like really another episode, like what did I expect? That you upload every week. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's obviously.
Yeah.
So
it was just, I was allowing them to go beyond what we agreed to. And I would get, and my rates were different back then. I was not charging very much because I was just happy to be doing it. And so I was just devaluing my own self.
Well,
And
and on top of that too, I think that could also be a sign of maybe not having enough work, because I think if it's like not a busy thing, you might just be like, oh, I need whatever I can get. And so I'm like, you know what I mean? You're just like taking any square inch of work you can
anything,
possibly
yeah,
get.
yeah.
Yeah. So
But
I think that could be a sign that you need more clients, but it's basically like, just keep that. It's a very tricky line to walk, because sometimes when you're freelance, it's really hard to know how long something's going to take you, how much space you have in your schedule. And so kind of try to figure that out as you go, like maybe time yourself as you're editing a podcast, and like,
dealing with
sorry, go ahead.
difficult clients, which we will get to in a whole
Oh, Ben,
episode.
that's
will be
again,
about.
that's its own episode
But
for sure.
let's get to the scope creep.
Yeah. Okay. So let's define scope creep for
Yes,
anyone that
please.
hasn't heard of it. Oh, you want me to define
Yeah,
it?
because I don't know what it is.
Yes, you do.
I don't have Urban Dictionary pulled up. So.
Well, you do know what it is. It's when a client is saying like, they just slow, and it's creep because it happens really slowly without you realizing. A client goes, hey, can we just add a tiny bit of more work here? And maybe it's not enough to warrant you going, oh, let's charge more for this. And so it's like, okay, yeah. So, and before you know it, you've doubled your workload for the same rate. And so,
which leads to animosity.
Of course, I
was talking about.
But again, like and it's really not necessarily their fault. They might not be trying to get one over on you. Like that's kind of the nature of this. Sometimes is you just start changing what you're doing, and they don't necessarily realize that something is so much more work, or they just don't think about it. They're just like, yeah, you're the guy to do it, so will you do it? And so how do you avoid? Again, I knew you would know what it was. Like, you're very familiar with the concept, I'm sure. But how do you avoid it? How do you spot it coming, and what do you do to avoid it happening? And what can you do if it already did happen?
Yeah, I think this is something that happens with someone new to freelancing, and they're new to this world of like production. Is you definitely you agree to terms, and then the client. I don't think most clients do this maliciously. It just happens.
It's the nature of how creating something is you build upon it. So
they'll start asking for one little more thing, two little more things. I think it's stopping and looking at like, okay, what did we agree to? And do I want to do this for them for nothing? With my clients, I will do little extra things if it doesn't take much time. If it's like, I had a client recently, I had put the whole episode together, and then they called me the day that it was supposed to, like the day I sent it to them and it was supposed to go up that night, for the next day, called me and said, I forgot we have an ad. I forgot to do the ad. And I was like, cool. I'm not going to charge you for the recording. Let's just record it real quick, but I have to charge you for the editing because I already put the episode together. It's already done. So, and that they were fine with that. They also were fine if I had charged them for both things. But I value them as a client. I value them as a friend. So I was like, it's not a big deal. Let's just do this. It's going to take a minute of my time to record. It's not a big deal. It's just putting the stuff together. So that's how I avoided that scope creep.
Well, and I think that's what you're describing is kind of the opposite of scope creep, when you see something coming and you kind of go like, maybe you do it intentionally. Like someone asks you for something and you kind of go, well, I'm okay with this. Like if someone's like, hey, can you start suggesting a title instead of me? You know what I mean? Like you're not going to charge them to do a title. But it's one of those, like, and if you really like this client and you think they're great and you've been working with them for a while, like, like give them a handful of little scope creeps for free, you know, like why not? If it's really not taking you that much extra time, but just, it's something to keep an eye on to kind of reevaluate how much extra am I doing for this rate that I've been charging this whole time. So,
and if it turns out it's going to be extra work, I let the client know ahead of time. Like, hey, if you want me to do this, it's going to cost this. I don't surprise them. That's a really, that should be an episode. Is just like client etiquette. Like, how do you politely tell things to your client?
Big time.
So that they're not, because they'll get offended because they're paying you. So if all of a sudden I learned this the hard way with the client. They had me come out for 2 different meetings, and then they chatted. The group of them ended up hanging out for like an hour, and I ended up staying there because they were chatting with me, and I billed them for that. And they were like, "Whoa, I didn't know we were going to get billed for this." I was like, "You had me out at your meeting. I was there that much longer." So it was a good lesson for me to
Yeah.
learn about, like, I should have warned you ahead of time. So now I let my clients know ahead of time, like, if you want this extra work. So it's really you managing your time and drawing boundaries, I
Yeah.
think, is how you avoid that
Boundaries is
scope
a
creep.
really good way to
You know,
boundaries is a really, really good way to put it.
yeah,
And that's one of the reasons I like to do my services a la carte like that, because it's like, it's literally like, oh, you want this? What's this? If you want this, it's
yeah.
this. And it's like, I can just tack it right on if they want to
I
do
do
that.
a la carte, package it as a flat rate, and then if we go outside of that scope of work,
Gotcha.
we're now getting to, I'm billing you for per hour
Nice.
with an
All
hour
right.
minimum.
So, oh, gotcha. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's one thing that you do that I was like, oh, that's really good.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea. Because then they'll think twice before asking you
Yep.
about stuff.
Is that 10 minutes really worth an hour of work? Pay
Yeah.
me for an hour of
Or
work?
can it wait until?
Yeah.
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 Okay, so now you've got your clients, you've figured out what you're offering, you've kind of got set against scope creep. You actually maybe are starting to edit podcasts and
Or
getting
produce
started.
them,
Or
engineer them.
yes, I say edit, but yeah, that's what we mean. But now you've started to get, like, you have one client that launches or they air their podcast twice a month. You have one that's every single week. You have a couple clients that don't want this. You have a couple clients that do want that. One client one client uploads their episodes a week in advance so you can edit them. One is a month in advance. How do you manage this in a way that you can read and that is understandable? Because this is a thing that I had to learn really fast, because my initial strategy was more about quantity. And so I was like, I gotta do all the things and get all the clients. And so I think at my peak I was at 16 clients.
Jesus.
I'm not I'm not there anymore. But imagine how many episodes that is. Like, that is a lot
That's a
of stuff to
lot
keep
of
track
work, which tells me, getting into future episode of, like, figuring out your pricing. That's like a team. You would have, like, me at my rates, I would have like 2 employees underneath me doing that
Yeah.
stuff. I'd be acting as a creative director.
And that's kind of my thing. That's kind of my thing, is that obviously that was not charging enough at that point. But my point is, though, you have you need to develop a system. And there are lots of apps and tools and whatever out there. I wanted to tell Johnny about this one, and I figured, why not do it on the podcast? It's called ClickUp. It was the one that I use. And the way that it works is, basically, I have it set up so my clients have a form, and they just fill out this form, and it says, like, episode number, ID for the show. All of my clients have a 4-digit or 4-letter ID. So episode ID is what I call it. It's the ID plus their episode number, then the title, and then the date they want it to go live, and then any other notes, like, oh, there was a weird bump at 32 minutes or something. And then it just shows up in my system, and I know when it's due, and I know when I need to do it. And if there's any certain stuff I have it really, like, fine-tuned now. So, like, certain stuff that I know takes me a while gets prioritized, and I have to do it earlier and things like that. But they do all the submissions and uploads and stuff. So I don't actually do any recording with my clients. I know you do that quite a bit. But right now I don't do any of that. So I just, when I have an episode in my system, it's ready to edit, and I can just pop in there and be like, I know exactly what needs to be done when. Yeah. And I don't have to go through and be like, okay, where's this? Is this file here? Okay.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not chasing that stuff down. If I see it in the forms, oh, my phone. If I see it in the forms, it's done. It's ready. It's uploaded. It's ready to edit. So, highly recommend you look into a system like that. ClickUp is a good one. Trello is another one that I've heard people use. That's really good.
Trello.
Notion is another one. But yeah, like, even like a spreadsheet could work if you really kind of format it well and stuff. What do you do? Because
so my girlfriend,
you just told me that you don't do this. Yeah. And so I'm like, what does he do then?
So my girlfriend's a librarian, and she showed me, you can find this online. It's I forget the title. I should have looked it up before we started recording. basically it's a library system of file management. So I have everything broken down, images, recordings, uh, my own business stuff too that I have in there. And then under the recordings, I have it broken down by season. And then because I am managing the recording sessions, I automatically get those files. So my
Yeah,
clients don't
that's a
really,
little easier.
yeah, my clients don't really ever see that stuff, but I manage it by recording, image. Those are like the two basics for
Well,
the
yeah, but how do
clients.
you know when to do what? Like, how do you know when,
So through
like, when
calendar,
stuff is due, and
so through
you
my
just use like
calendar
a calendar?
management, I have just straight up old school digital calendar management of the date that things are supposed to be posted, recording sessions, and then I have a spreadsheet of production management. So basically broken down into client, date of contact, or not client, but guest. Under each client has their own spreadsheet, but guest or the organization, point of contact, when I make contact with them, have we scheduled anything, when the date is scheduled, stuff like that. So I can just look at the spreadsheet and then I have it color coded. If we're still in talks and we haven't set anything up, it's yellow. If we're all set for a recording date, it's green. And once we've recorded with them, it's red. And then that way
See,
I could go back and
that's
look.
good.
So
I suppose that's good. I feel like I need to see a more of an overview of everything.
yeah.
Because I have a lot going on.
Well,
And
you
each
have
individual
16 clients.
I don't still have 16 clients. I do have a lot though. I still do have a
You
lot.
still have way more than me. I work with a small batch of clients, so it's a little easier to manage.
That's true. And I will say though, I did start doing this like really early on, like probably when I had 3 clients. So, but it really helps because I am kind of a forgetful person. And so like making sure that every single thing that I need to do is it is written down. I can't miss it because it's in there. So, highly recommend you do that if you find yourself not super organized, or really just if you're just starting out. It's really good to do this before you start scaling, get a system down, because then you can like add someone in, no problem. I can just duplicate something in my system, add them in there, and it's done. So, but it's really, I think we'll do another episode about like tools that we use eventually, kind of for just in general, not necessarily like audio editing or video editing stuff, but
managing your business.
Yeah, like business management stuff. I think that'd be a really good episode. And then I could maybe go into some detail about ClickUp there. But anything else you wanted to add about managing your clients?
No, I think that's it. We covered a lot of ground today. And,
we did.
This is all stuff I wish I was out there when I first started.
Yeah. I just kind of made this up on my own. I was making stuff up on my own. Like things were awkward and weird and just whatever. I just did it. And it's so this is great. This is really good. If you are just starting out, please listen to us, listen to this advice. We have made mistakes and we will tell you about them because we don't want other people to have to do the same thing. So, but this is a thriving industry. It's only getting bigger. And you could have a career or even just some freelance money from it. So if you want to get started, this is a good place to start.
Yeah. And you can email us if you have questions, anything you want us to cover, topics, anything like that. Or you just want to give us a shout out and say hello. We'd love to hear from you. Our email is podcastsurvival@gmail.com. And shoot us an email if you want us to talk about something.
And then I have a YouTube channel where I post like editing and production tutorials and some Descript stuff. You can find that on YouTube as Cody Crab Edits. And then also if you want to try out Descript, just go to descript.cc and you can find my my referral link and you can try it out and see if you like it.
I don't have any of that stuff.
Not even the social media, right? Like you're
I'm
just
on
like
social media, but I don't even know my tags.
That's what I mean. You're just like, whatever.
Yeah. Just go to florespodcastproductions.com. florespodcastproductions.com. Thank you.
There you go. Yeah, sounds good. Okay, well, thanks everyone, and we will see you next time.
Yep. Thank you. Appreciate it.